My friends, I am so happy to see you back. This is Dr. B. Dr. B, the best in medicine. Dr. B, 30 years of experience in medicine, guys. Today, Dr. B wants to talk to you about these sleep medicines, right? That the pharmaceutical industry wants you to take every night so that you can sleep supposedly like a baby. The pharmaceutical industry pushing your doctor, your family physician, your internist to prescribe you these sleep medicines so that they can make billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars out of your misery. Guys, Dr. B has been in medicine for 30 years. Dr. B knows it all. Dr. B is not here to sell you fake stuff, to tell you BS, to push you to buy this, push you to buy that, medications and products and therapies that have not been proven scientifically, right, to be effective, right? And the subject of insomnia, guys, is massive, massive, massive health problem, guys. Guys, about 10% of the adult population in the United States suffers from chronic insomnia, right? Insomnia that is chronic. It's not like the guy every once in a while, right, cannot fall asleep or wakes up and blah, 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 blah. I'm talking here about chronic insomnia. Means the guy every night, at least a few nights per week, has really trouble falling asleep, maintaining deep sleep, right? REM sleep, right? The REM phase of our sleep is when we dream, and during that dream, the REM phase, right? The deepest phase of our sleep, right? From superficial to deep, right? That's when our brain gets rid of all these toxins and all these byproducts of the metabolisms of our neurons, right? The brain cells, the neurons, we have 10 billions of them in our cerebrum. The cerebrum is the upper part of our brain, right? The cerebrum, about 10 billion neurons in our brain. They need to get rid of all this waste that comes from the metabolism during the day. And when does our brain get rid of all this waste? It's during the deepest phase of our sleep, when we dream, right? There is this fluid inside the brain that we call the glymph, right? Glymph, that eliminates all these toxins and byproducts and waste so that we can wake up rejuvenated and healthy and in good shape, and our memory is excellent, like Dr. B's memory. Guys, I wish I had this memory when I entered medical school, when I was younger. As I age, my brain, my memory, my computational power becomes better and better, guys. Guys, you need to be able to eliminate these waste byproducts of your brain's metabolism, and you need time. The glymph, this fluid, is not going to be able to eliminate all that in just a few hours, right? You need at least, if you ask the neuroscientists, right, somewhere between 7.5 to 8.5 hours, right? Personally, my brain needs about 8.5 to 9 hours, rather on the side of 9 hours, right? Because I'm constantly active during the day, right? And then I go to the gym, I get tired and everything. So every night I go to bed at 9 o'clock religiously, no exception. I put my head and I fall asleep like a baby. Maybe in the middle of the night I'm gonna wake up one time to go pee, and then I sleep again like a baby. By 6 o'clock my brain wakes me up automatically, right? So you need to have a proper schedule of sleep, right? So that your brain can eliminate and sleep enough, right? Sleep enough uninterrupted by noise, by your wife waking you up, the kid waking you up, the baby waking you up, the girlfriend waking you up, the music of the neighbor, right? Wear some earplugs if necessary, right? So that your brain can be fresh in the morning, right? Because it eliminated all these wastes, right? That can accumulate over time. If you don't sleep enough, you're going to get Alzheimer's disease, right? Those waste and byproducts of your metabolism accumulate and they form a nasty compound called beta amyloid. Beta amyloid is going to accumulate in your brain cells and eventually kill them. So by the age of 60, 65, 70, 75, when you are fresh and ready to retire with money in the bank, you got your pension, your wife is ready, your kids have left the nest, and you want to just buy that RV and go back and forth, North America, South America, East and West, and visit Brazil and blah, 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 and Argentina, and then take the airplane, go to Europe and Japan and everything. You know, by that time, your wife going to notice that, hey, what's going on? What the cazzo is wrong with my husband? He forgets this, he forgets that. He becomes disoriented. He's absolute. Your wife knows, your husband knows who you are. They know very well. They can identify what's wrong with you, right? So they're going to take you to the doctor, who's going to send you to the neurologist, and the neurologist is going to do a test on you and realize that, what the heck, this guy is starting to have dementia. Let's do an MRI, and the MRI going to confirm that you have Alzheimer's dementia because all these years you had too much alcohol that destroyed your brain, smoking, high blood pressure. High blood pressure is a disaster, guys, for your brain, right? So you combine the lack of sleep with alcohol consumption, even a tiny bit of alcohol, guys, it doesn't matter. There's no safe limit. It just accumulates, right? Over time, right? Like the compounding of your interests in the bank, in your savings account, right? It gets bigger and bigger and bigger, right? The cumulative effect of even a tiny bit of smoking, of this marijuana that the marijuana lobby is pushing down the throat of our teenager, our youth. Oh, it's okay to smoke pot. No, it's not. Oh, it's okay to drink alcohol, right? It's okay to drink a wine every day, a little bit. No, it's not. It is no safe limit for that, right? So the lack of sleep, alcohol, stress in your life, marijuana, beer, wine, blah, blah, blah. It's going to accumulate, guys, and it's going to mess up your brain. And of course, high blood pressure, right? High blood pressure, guys, is a disaster for your brains, right? It destroys the tiny little arterioles, right? Arterioles that we call, these are the tiny little vessels that feed your brain, right? It causes a disease called arteriolosclerosis, and the sclerosis, the stiffening of these tiny arterioles, right? That go and feed your brain. Remember, at the very, very tiny level, right, you have these tiny little arterioles, right, tiny little blood vessels. They are about 500 microns, right, 500 microns, down to 100 microns, right. 500 micron is half a millimeters. For those of you who knows the international system of units, right, DSI, the former metric system, right, a millimeter is tiny like that, a millimeter, right? Now imagine half a millimeter. That's the size of those blood vessels. 500 micron, half a millimeter, down to 100 micron, really tiny, tiny, tiny. they get occluded, right, by this hypertension over many years, right? And so that kills your brain cell because they don't receive enough oxygen and nutrients, right? So they die over time, right? And then the effect of diabetes, the effect of lack of sleep, and alcohol, marijuana, cigarette. My God, it's absolutely believable to see what people do to themselves, right? People destroying their body because they don't see what Dr. B sees every day at the clinic, in the hospitals, during my 30 years of career in medicine, guys. So now, of course, the food industry has poisoned you, right? The marijuana industry has poisoned you with marijuana. The cigarette industry has poisoned you. And of course, the wine industry, the liquor industry, the beer industry, all these industries that make billions, hundreds of billions of dollars together, they make you sick. And then comes the pharmaceutical industry. Oh, I'm going to give you this medication. I'm going to tell your doctor going to prescribe this. They push these doctors to prescribe you all these medications. And of course, coming back to insomnia, chronic insomnia, 10% of the adult population, the pharmaceutical industry pushing your family doctor, your family physician, your internist to give you these sleeping pills, right, to help you sleep, right? And like this, the doctor makes money, the pharmaceutical industry makes money, giving kickbacks to the politicians in Washington, to the FDA, and giving kickbacks to the hospitals and clinic and doctors, and, inviting them for dinners and vacation and trips. And, it's crazy. It's crazy. Guys, do not take freaking sleeping medication. Sleeping medication. Don't do that. It's just going to kill your brain. It's worse than the sleeplessness, right? There are many solutions to sleep good, right? And the first one is have a proper timing. You cannot go to bed one day at 9 o'clock, another at 10, another one at 11 o'clock, right? You need to program your brain slowly over time. By 9 o'clock, guys, my brain is tired already. It's telling me it's time to go to bed. I turn off the cell phone, the TV, the computer, whatever the katsuo was doing, right? I don't go to bed with my cell phone, with my laptop, like my ex-girlfriend. She can't fall asleep. Well, obviously, she has that stupid cell phone all the time in bed, right? It's crazy. She damages her brain, her eyes. She cannot fall asleep, right? And then, of course, obviously, once you have programmed your brain to fall asleep at the proper time, if you have a noisy environment, right, make sure you put earplugs, right? If you need to turn off all the lights, right, or you wear those masks, right, sleeping masks, so that it's dark, right? My room is dark. I have this thick curtains, right? And if necessary, I can wear a mask, right? So that my eyes are completely in the dark, right? My ears are completely plugged. I don't hear anything, right? I put my head after 2 minutes. I fall asleep like a baby. And of course, before I go to bed, right? I don't have no big dinner, right? It's a disaster to go to bed after having a big dinner. Let's suppose you have a big pizza, salad, ice cream, blah, blah, blah. You watch stupid TV, you're on the computer until 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. Well, by the time you go to bed, your stomach is still full of food, right? Digestion barely started, right? Your stomach is still full of food. You're bloated, you are gassy, blah, blah, blah. You cannot fall asleep like that, right? So the other major step is to zip it at night, right? To do like me, like Dr. B, just a fistful of little nuts, a little bit of olive oil or walnut oil, a little bit protein juice right after my gym, right, but not too late, right, with cocoa powder, no sugar, no salt, nothing, 100% unprocessed food. A little bit maybe of tomato paste, right? Tomato paste is great. You can also replace that or add a little bit of 1 tablespoon of peanut butter, right? But that's it, nothing. And then you swallow all that with a little decaf coffee or a decaf tea, right? So there's not much because it's just a little bit, right? A tiny bit that goes in my stomach that I swallow at night, especially nothing after 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, right? If you sleep at 10 o'clock. Me, because I go to bed at 9 o'clock, I try to have my last food, my last beverage, right, by 7:30, maybe 8 o'clock, maybe 8:30, right, so that I go to bed. I don't have to wake up after half an hour and go to the restroom because I need to pee now, right, because of the tea and the coffee. No caffeine, guys, no caffeine. I never drink caffeinated beverages after 12 o'clock, right. So that's so important. So wear a mask, wear earplugs, make sure the room is dark and quiet, no more cell phone, no nothing. Just put your head down, have a sleep hygiene, make sure you go to bed at the same time at night, right? And don't eat food after a certain hour. No dinner anymore, guys. Guys, remember, after a certain age, I'm 50 years old, you need to zip your mouth and cut the dinner. No more dinner, no more lunch for me, right? Tiny little snack for lunch, tiny little snack for dinner. That's it, guys, right? And you can have this little sleeping aid, right? I use personally melatonin, right? Melatonin. I don't care about I don't want to advertise the freaking brand. I don't care. Who cares about it, right? You see this melatonin, 5 milligram. You can have the same melatonin, right, for 10 milligram per pill, right? Do you see it? Melatonin. Melatonin, 5 milligram, 10 milligram. Start with one tiny 5 milligram, a few minutes, 10 minutes, maybe 5 minutes before you fall asleep. And then if it's not enough, make it 10 milligram, maybe 15, maybe 20. And stay away, guys, from this sleeping medication. Sleeping aid is okay, right? You can drink a little echinacea drink, right? But no sugar, no caffeine. Echinacea might help you a little bit, right? Some other herbal teas that might help you. Everybody's different. But the key is to go to bed at the same time in a low stress environment, dark room, no noise, no computer, no cell phone, right? No alcohol before you go to bed. No food, no bulky stuff, and take a little bit of melatonin if you want, right? Remember, as we get older, the brain, there's a little gland in the back kind of our brain that produces melatonin naturally, right? It's called the pineal gland. It's kind of in the back. I don't want to go into neuroanatomy, but it's kind of in the back of our brain, tiny little gland that produces melatonin since we were a little kid, a newborn, right? Melatonin. As we get older, that pineal gland, like every other gland, can no longer produce enough melatonin, right, to put us asleep in a nice way, like when we were teenager, a young adult, a baby, falling asleep immediately and then waking up refreshed and everything, right? So that melatonin is a sleep help, right? Supplement, right? A sleep aid, the same way like echinacea or blah, 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 your little herbal tea, right? But do not go into this trap of getting sleep medications, because those are doing massive damage to your brain, right? And all the research that has been done on these sleep medications, they were not done for a long period of time, right? Nobody knows what is the long-term side effect of these medications, right? Because the pharmaceutical companies are in a hurry to put them in the market so they can make a ton of money. So quickly after after a few years of research and development and clinical trials, they get quickly the FDA approval, put them in the market, right? But those clinical studies, and they haven't been done for a long period of time, enough years to see the long-term side effect of these nasty chemical compounds that nobody knows what they do to your brain, right? And more studies are coming because over time, those sleeping medications that were prescribed some years ago, now we see the side effects, right? So now we know that that guy who had been prescribed and how for the last 20 years, 10 years has been taking these sleep medications, now his brain is messed up, his memory is a disaster. It kills your memory, right? They develop dementia now at a higher rate. So stay away from those. Once you have tried the remedies that I told you about, if it still doesn't work, and remember, the last one that I forgot is don't exercise too close to your sleeping time. Means if you go to bed at 10 o'clock, then don't come back from the gym at 8 or 9 o'clock. It's not good. There needs to be a huge amount of time between the moment when you finish your workout or your gym or your walking or your bicycling or anything and the moment you go to bed to sleep, right? If all these remedies haven't worked, then ask your doctor to refer you to a sleep clinic, right? A sleep clinic. Those are neuroscientists and doctors who specialize in trying to detect in disorders of sleep, right? They're going to do a sonography, polysomnography. They're going to put you in a room. You'll be connected to the electroencephalography, right? To the electroencephalogram, right? An EEG, not an EKG for the heart, an EEG, electroencephalography, right? And they're going to put a little camera in that room to see how much you move, how much you don't move, how much you roll this way, how much you roll that way during your sleep. And they're going to analyze the brain, your brain signals, electrical signal, EEG, electroencephalogram, right? Like they do an electrocardiogram at the cardiologist clinic to check your heart, right? This will be an electroencephalogram, right? And then they will detect what is the problem with your sleep and what part of your sleep is abnormal and what kind of anomaly do you have. These are the experts, right? They work in a sleep clinic. Don't allow your doctor to just prescribe you a sleeping pill. Oh, I'm going to prescribe you this sleep medication that just came out. The pharmaceutical company said this is the state of the art, the brand new medication. No, don't do that. Tell your doctor, listen, doctor, can you please refer me first to a sleep clinic? Because I've tried everything that Dr. B told me. I've tried this melatonin. I made sure to go to bed at the proper time every night, and I have no more cell phone, no more computer in bed. I put this earplug. I have this little mask. My room is completely dark. I have no caffeine after 4 o'clock or 2 o'clock or 12 o'clock. I don't eat much at night, so my tummy is not bloated and gassy while I'm trying to go to bed and sleep, right? Doctor, please send me to a sleep clinic. Don't allow, guys, these doctors to prescribe you just like this, these medications, right? Again, all these sleep medications, the one that they've been prescribing from 20 years ago. Now the side effects are coming out. So the guy who was 50 years old, right, who at the age of 50 was prescribed these sleeping medications, right, now he's 70 years old, his brain is messed up, his memory is gone, he's starting to develop dementia, and at a rate that is way higher, and at a rate that is statistically significant compared to people who never took these sleeping medicines, right? So all these pharmaceutical industries that are making these sleep medications, they just check them on people, right, during their clinical trials, right? They just test them for a few years, and then they will never tell anyone, and the FDA gives them the approval because the FDA and the pharmaceutical companies are together. Pharmaceutical companies make billions, give kickback to politicians in Washington, to the FDA, so that they can quickly accelerate their marketing and put that medication, a nasty drug, a nasty chemical compound, and make billions of dollars, right? And then they can lobby the politicians, they can make donation to their campaigns, the mayor, the governor, this guy, that guy, from the big guy on the top to the guy at the bottom. All these pharmaceutical companies give contributions to their political campaign out of the money that you pay them, because you allowed your doctor to give you that sleep medication that nobody knows. Oh, it's a brand new, it's better than the other one that came out last year, but nobody know what are the cuts, what the cuts are, the side effects, long-term side effects, because they did the research for only 5 years, right? They experimented that medication for only 2 years on people. Who knows what the cuts of the medication can do to your brain in 10 years, in 20 years? By the time you are retired, you got a lot of money, and your wife sees, or your husband sees, that you're losing your brain, you're losing your memory. Oh my God, now you got dementia, right? So please listen to me. Dr. B cares about you. Dr. B never went into medicine for money, never went into medicine for fame and glory. Guys, I went to medical school 30 years ago because I love it. I love it. I was passionate since I was a teenager. I was passionate about biology, about biochemistry, about chemistry, mixing all these solutions and changes colors and blah, 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 blah. And then go to medical school, learn about the human body, the physiology, the anatomy, biochemistry, blah, 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 cellular biology, molecular biology, all these diseases, all these therapies, right? Not for the money. And I'm trying to transfer this information to you so that you don't fall in the trap, right, of all these crooks, the pharmaceutical industry, right, the food industry, the marijuana industry, the cigarette industry, all these the food industry also. All these freaking industries are in cahoot. The wine industry are in cahoot with the pharmaceutical industry and the politician and the FDA, to make billions of dollars at your expense. So they make you sick, and then they sell you. I mean, it's crazy, guys. Crazy. I love you. Dr. B loves you, really. No matter your race, your gender, your ethnicity, whoever the katso you are, I love you, and I give you a big hug. And God willing, I will get back to you in the next video. Follow my advice, guys. Don't have your doctor prescribe you any sleep medication. First, ask the doctor to send you to a sleep clinic. They are the expert. Your family doctor is not an expert in sleep disorders, guys. He's an internist. He's a family doctor. What does he know about sleep disorders, right? Nothing. Ask him to refer you to a sleep clinic. I love you. If you have any questions, any comments, put them down there, and I promise I will get back to you. It might take time because I'm super busy, right, with work right? I love my work. I love the patients. I love their feedback. They love me back. And I have to sleep 9 hours a night. I have to exercise 2 hours a day to be super healthy. Dr. B, guys, is 50, just turned 50, and he's super healthy, right? And so I promise I will get back to you. I love you. I give you a big hug, and God willing, I see you in the next video. And I wish you a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.